Yes. We forgot to record. Um, okay, thank you. Actually, can you put maybe the chat? Also, maybe there's people. I saw there was a message on the.
Yeah, someone is leaving because the connection is bad.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. That's okay. So thank you for sharing that. And just quickly, anyone else has any ideas, any notions of what a pitch is and what it's trying to do?
Someone on Zoom maybe wants to talk.
Oh, Saidul, go ahead.
Yeah, just not something new that what already mentioned. I think the pitch will give an overall idea of who I am, what I'm trying to do, what's my motivation, uh, and how I can contribute to the communities in Quebec. Get an overall idea about myself.
Yeah, absolutely. You are hitting the nail right in the head. Because you are trying to put together those elements into a pitch, and you can tell the person, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I will bring to the table, let's just say. And so yeah, a pitch can be also a convincing someone, but it can be a little bit more than that, and I'll go into it in a few moments. See, yeah, okay. So just kind of to quickly give you an overview of what we're going to discuss in the next 30, 45 minutes. It's first like understand what a pitch is and how you can use it. Discuss a strategy to structure a pitch using storytelling elements, and then explore tips to successfully deliver that pitch to make sure people are listening to you. Now, we talked about some of these elements already about what is a pitch. And so a pitch is really something that can help you explain anything simply, clearly, and to get something from the audience, either convincing them or to get them to contribute something to you. But it's also a way to reach or connect with your audience, to tell an idea. And in this case, connecting means getting their attention, persuading or convincing, like we were talking about them, or getting them engaged in an action, right? And the last of it is like Saidul was saying, like you can think of it as a series of questions of who am I, what do I do, and what's my ask. So it's really a combination of all these elements. Now, a pitch, like I said, it's like it can be all forms and lengths, and it can have a slide deck or not. It can be improvised, or it can be practiced. It can be memorized, or it can be not. Like it depends on where you're giving this pitch. And the most common one, or the one that it's frequently heard around, is the elevator style or the elevator pitch. I'm sure you all are familiar with that term. And if not, it's basically comes from the notion of you're jumping into an elevator and you ran into someone important. Here, that's your opportunity to tell them about your research, tell them about your life, to convince them an idea, to sell them something, let's just say. So that's where the idea of an elevator style pitch comes from. And it's because it's short, it's punchy, and it's meant to be a connector or a starter. It's not to fully, tell about this is all I'm doing with my research. These are all the courses that I'm taking right now, and this is why it's a conversation starter. And these pitches, not only the elevator pitch, they can be used for interviews like we're doing today. They can be used for your presentations, a course project, a conference, whatever it is, or a talk. Like if you're not presenting your project, but you're giving a talk about a topic. It can also be part of, an email introduction. Like if you write it, a pitch can be an email introduction, can be part of a web content, your bio, for example, if you have a website, or even social media. For the ones who have LinkedIn, if not, I recommend that you create one. There's a section that you can write a little bit about yourself. There you go. That's a pitch. You're pitching yourself to people. And like I said at the beginning, all pitches can be versatile. They can be done in 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. For the purposes of the interview, you can think of it of a 3-minute pitch, just to kind of have an idea, but you can make it shorter. It's better. Longer, I would not recommend it. And why do you need a pitch? That's a question that a lot of people ask because, I mean, I'm doing my research, I'm just working on my courses. I don't need a pitch, but you do need it. You never know. For example, there's a networking opportunity, either a conference or a meet and greet that you go to a potential employer or a job fair. And so here you need a pitch to introduce yourself, what do you do, and what you're looking for. And it's most likely to be oral. Also, when you're applying for funding, or maybe you're trying to get someone to collaborate in a project with you, this is going to be more likely to be a written type of pitch. And I'm sure you probably have already some elements in that in your application for the Arbour Foundation. So you can kind of like recycle those. And finally, sharing your work with a wide audience. And so this is whenever, for example, you're giving a presentation, or for the ones in a research program, you have the possibility of doing what's called a 3-minute thesis competition, which is a competition, a research communication competition that we host here at the School of Graduate Studies. And this sort of pitch is more likely to be scripted. It's something that you're going to write and not necessarily memorize, but it's going to have very, very structured elements. And of course, like I mentioned, what you need a pitch for your Arbour interview, right? Okay, so far everything is good. I kind of feel like I gave you a 5-minute pitch of what is a pitch. So, any questions? No? All right. So now let's jump straight into pitching yourself. Oh, Pega, go ahead.
Yes, I'm not sure about the follow-up interview. It's a QA or it's like a presentation. I want to know for each question we need to have a pitch or not, or it's totally
No,
for.
no, like in most interviews, you're not be able to prepare for all questions. And so you're definitely not going to be able to have a pitch prepared and ready. Most importantly, it's when they ask you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like that's the typical questions. A lot of interviews ask that. And so that's when you have your pitch ready, you have it, and you tailor it specifically to the person who is interviewing you. In this case, it's the Arbour Foundation. So you can, pitch them, okay, you're going to give me this money and this is what I'm going to become and this is what I'm use it for. In other settings, of course, let's say you're applying for a job, then you're tailoring it to that company, kind of like telling about your experience related to that company. And so that's the most important part of a pitch in an interview setting. And for the rest of the questions, you can get some ideas ready, of course, from some of the typical questions. And I'll try to mention some of those towards the end. But for example, a typical one is like, okay, tell me about a moment that was challenging for you and how you overcame it. That's a typical question that always appears in an interview, and that's something that you can already prepare. And it can be a version of a pitch, because spoiler alert, there are elements in storytelling that can help you structure all of those questions. Doesn't mean that you have to follow them like that, but it's just strategies that can help you structure your ideas.
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So let's go into pitching yourself. So more of that question about, introducing yourself or tell me a little bit about yourself. And so first of all, what are the successful or what makes a pitch successful? And we have to remember these answers or these sort of idea sharing, it has to be, or it is kind of a story. Because if you do this, then you get them engaged early. You get them to care about what you're saying, telling them. Because the audiences, they don't need to have experienced, what you've experienced or any knowledge of whatever idea that you're proposing, the life events that you went through, or the research that you're working on. In this case, oh, that's okay. And in this case, remember to getting them to care. And so care, in this case, it means that they understand why you're there talking with them. Like you're just not a random person that showed up here just talking about their life. No, it's like you get them to care, you get them engaged in your story. And especially for research, and this is a general advice, but especially if you're going to include elements of research, try to minimize jargon and prioritize shorter sentences. Use language that invites the audience to kind of like walk with you. So, instead of telling specific technical terms of your research project, try to explain that using either analogies or using something or using the definition of that concept. If you cannot avoid using that technical term for whatever reason, then sure, you have to explain it then. So I heard a lot of AI imaging, but then AI imaging can mean a lot of things, right? And so tell like more specifically what aspect of AI imaging are you working on or are you interested in? And the last thing is always in all sorts of pitches, presentations, or public speaking, always try to focus on the key elements. The audience, most audiences, they need to know a lot less to get the idea. And there's this notion of providing 80% of what they need to know, and then the 20% they're going to complement. And if they cannot, that's going to trigger questions, and that's going to be a good conversation for you because then you're going to be, chatting with them about, your project, your life, or whatever it is that you're talking about. And how do we craft this sort of story? And so, like Cecilia and Catherine were saying, for the Arbour interview, they are not much interested in the research aspect or the technical stuff. It's more about you as a human, you as a person, right? And so talk about your life, but keep it to the moments that have brought you to this point, right? So don't talk about the time that you were running behind a ball and it went to the other side of the yard or whatever, the park, and you lost your ball. Unless that's related to why you're here, because that, I don't know, that inspired you in pursuing your degree for whatever reason. And then always keep in mind the question, how do your story beats relate to the audience? How do the moments that you're going to talk about are going to relate to what they want to hear, so what they want to know about you? And if possible, mark or use your life experiences as marking points. So let's say you're talking about your academic or your leadership experiences to talk about your values for your interview. Then a moment in your life that marked you was when you discovered that working with the student society in your undergrad was something that really helped you realize helping people or helping your peers was something that you felt strongly about. And a very, very important point about the audience is that they are almost always selfish. And you'll have always to think, most of the audience is going to ask themselves, like, why should I care about what I'm hearing right now? Whether that's your research, whether that's story, like I'm sure you've all been in a situation where you're hearing someone talking and like, but why are you telling me this? Like, why should I care? And so this is something that you have to keep in mind when crafting your story. Kind of like make sure that those elements are tailored to what that person is trying to look for. So what Cecilia shared in the selection criteria, you can think and use those to craft your story because they're probably going to look for those elements, right? And so that's going to answer the why should I care in this case. And now we're going to talk specifically about the elements of storytelling in pitching. And so there are several storytelling models. There's the Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. That's the typical version in theater or in some sort of some movies. In narrative and written narrative, the setup, conflict, and resolution. There's other notions of care, join, believe, or there's another one that's present, past, future, kind of like you structure. It's always like 3 points for whatever reason. That I don't know why, but it's always like 3 points that a model follows. And all of these models are expandable. And like I said, 30 seconds, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, or even in a movie. You can think of it, 2-hour movie, you still have the setup, the conflict, and the resolution. If you ever feel a movie like left you kind of like, it's kind of bad, the ending, it's because it doesn't have a good resolution. And it didn't hook you up from the beginning. It doesn't have a good setup because you were asking questions all the time. Why is this, I don't know, whatever questions you have. But then the important thing and why we're talking about storytelling here in crafting a pitch is because stories are memorable. People remember feelings more than facts. Like, sure, you can probably a random fact in your head might get stuck in, but people are more connected to feelings. And then having these three arc or three story elements, they help your audience follow your journey clearly. So for the purposes of this session, we're going to focus on this model. We're going to focus on the setup, conflict resolution. This one, sorry, I should have been pointing at the screen, but no matter. Here, so you have the setup, conflict resolution model that we're going to use here. And so setup really in an interview and whatever setting that you're introducing yourself, it helps you earn the trust and builds the credibility. So kind of like who you are, what drives you, what makes you passionate about what you're doing. The conflict is the part where you're telling about, the obstacle, the challenge that you're facing, or why you would need the support. And this part is what makes people emotionally invested, because then they can realize like, okay, this person is going through this. How can we help them? Finally, the resolution, this is the aspect that Catherine and Cecilia were mentioning at the beginning, is that how their support is going to create that impact. How are you going to use the resources that they're going to give you to create that impact, specifically for the Arbour Foundation, specifically for the Quebec Society? And so this is really key because this is going to leave them imagining or picturing the impact of their support. So that's kind of like the selling point, the convincing, the moment that you're going to give them the why you are there and why you should get that the funding. And so this is really, kind of like the backbone of a storytelling elements. It can be useful for the pitch of tell me a little bit about yourself, but you can also use it in other sorts of settings, other sorts of questions. Like I mentioned, tell me a moment where you overcame a challenge, or perhaps they're asking you about some sort of other experience that you had. You can also try to think of these experiences with this setup. I'm sure this is the first time a lot of you are hearing about these sort of storytelling techniques. So it's okay that, it comes with practice, that you internalize these elements and you start building your pitches, your stories like this. So it's okay if it doesn't come automatically, but the conclusion here is that you should practice, your pitches, you should keep them in mind and keep these storytelling elements whenever you're crafting them. Okay, so before moving into diving deeper in each one of these elements, any questions so far? Okay, let's jump right into the elements here. And let's start with the first step, which is the setup. And so this is when you open with a defining moment or a vivid scene of what you were what you're doing here. And here you can introduce, the context, the credentials, the whatever achievements that you have, whether they're academic, research, or leadership. And what's important here is that you show your values and your motivation in action. You're not just saying like, oh yeah, I'm here because I'm very I don't know, passionate about helping people. No, tell me why, how, when did you discover that? Like you just don't tell me what your value is, but show me in action. And so I put here an example. Just randomly, I asked ChatGPT to give me a couple of examples. So take that as you will. And so the example here is I grew up in a small town where blackouts were normal. In high school, I joined a science fair project on solar panels, and that spark became a research path. In my undergrad, I maintained a 3.9 GPA, presented at 2 conferences, and developed a software tool that improved solar efficiency by 15%. So here you're talking a little bit about your story, where you're from, kind of like your experiences already, leadership, your academic skills. It's one example. Doesn't have to be something that you are that you have to build it like that. And in this case, it shows that the person is driven to understand more about solar panels, right? And this is going to help solar efficiency, et cetera, et cetera. And so having these elements or starting with a personal moment that shaped your path, that's what it's called a hook. And that is going to grab people's attention. And there's when you kind of like weave in the other elements that some of them might be looking for, the academic excellence, the leadership examples that you have. But this should be like a part of your story. It should be like a journey that you bring people with, not kind of just list things. The goal, again, in this setup is to kind of like make them curious about who you are and kind of like what else are you offering here. And if possible, why not impress them with a couple of achievements that you've had throughout your path? If you made it here, I'm sure you already kind of like caused them a good impression. Okay. The second part is the conflict. And this is where you, like I said, this is where you present your main obstacle. In this case, it can be financial, it can be situation. You should focus on showing resilience and determination, not a sob story that you should help me because I cannot. No, it's because if you help me, I'm going to be able to thrive. If you help me, I'm going to be able to focus on my course load or my project or whatever, instead of having to look for a part-time job. So these are the things that you can kind of focus on rather than, oh, I need help. Always, always try to keep it concise and dignified. Dignification in this case means, again, do not beg for money. Sure, there are some elements of that, but you don't tell them literally like, please, please, please give me money. It's more, if you give me this money, I will do that. I will do this. It will help me reach my goal. And again, ChatGPT gave me this example. My parents' small business closed during the pandemic, and since then I've been supporting myself with 2 part-time jobs. While I've kept my grades high, the financial strain means that I cannot dedicate the time I need to bring my research to its full potential. So here you're setting up the conflict. You're telling them like, hey, I'm working 2 jobs right now and studying, and I can keep my academic excellence high, but this is not sustainable. This is not really like not helping you. So in this case, as you see, you kind of don't tell them like, I need the money, please. You tell them why you need the money. And one of the main things, and I guess this is the part that I want to emphasize, is that be honest about it, right? Be honest about why, what is the challenge that you're facing. And but the most important part is to keep it proactive, like not look at it from, this is the problem. No, you're looking at the solution. It's kind of like right in front of you. You might get some support, and this is what's going to help that support. So show the determination, show resilience, and And yeah, it should be maybe another way of looking at it. If financial need is the key or the challenge, it should be framed as a barrier to overcome, not as a, something completely stopping you. No, you're looking at it as something that you can, move through and it will help you. Okay. The last element is the resolution. And this is when you like tell them, okay, if you support me, this is what's going to happen. You describe the impact on your research, on your field, on your community, whatever it is, and try to end with a memorable forward-looking line. And that means kind of like looking at the future, what you're going to do with afterwards, right? So with Arbour support, I can focus fully on developing my solar energy project, mentor undergrads in the lab, and publish work that can help rural communities cut energy costs by 40%. Your investment turns my knowledge into solutions that light up homes and futures. It's a little bit corny. You don't have to do that. Again, this is what ChatGPT kind of spat out. But the idea is that you end up with that element of hope, that element of what you're going to do in the future. And so remember, you're not asking for money. You're showing them what the return of investment is, right? Why they're investing in you and what's the return that they're going to get. So you can paint that picture of what the future is going to look like with their help, with their close help, with their close support through their professional development and their mentor programs and et cetera, whatever the other complementary things that Arbour offers. And so that's how you can finish up with the resolution. Okay. After this, we're going to jump into an activity. So I hope you're ready. Because the idea is for you to kind of have already a pitch or some notes to start your pitch. And so I'm going to give you time to do that. But before jumping into it, any questions about the setup, conflict, or resolution model?
Slides. Would you please share it with us?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You will get them. Okay. So I'm going to give you 4 minutes to start thinking about your setup of your story. And so it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, like already a script what you're going to say, but it's just a moment to start reflecting about what you want to do or what you want to talk about. And so think of the questions here to help you write those notes down. What defining moment or experience started your academic or career path? 1 or 2 academic or leadership highlights using, what was the situation, what action you took, and what results you got. So projects, GPA, any awards that you got. And finally, what personal values drive you? So again, this is just to start thinking about your values, and then you can start thinking about, okay, where can I show this value in action? Okay, so I'll give you 4 minutes to do this and just to reflect a little bit on that. All right, 1 more minute. Reflecting. Okay, a few more seconds. Start wrapping up. All right. So these again are some ideas, some questions that can help you start building the setup of your story, right? And again, it's not something that you're going to be, having the perfect pitch already done, but it's going to give you some notes to start thinking about that. Let's move on to the second part, the conflict. And so this is again where you kind of tell what the challenge is and kind of what the barriers that you're facing and how you're gonna overcome them. So that's why you should, these are the two questions that you can keep in mind. Like what's the main financial or personal barrier right now between you and your goals? And how are you actively working to overcome it, right? Remember to kind of keep your tone resilient if you're going for a full sentence already. Keep your tone resilient and focused on growing, overcoming that challenge, not the fact that you need it. So I'll give you another 4 minutes, more or less. Yeah, I'll give you 4 minutes. All right, one more minute. Few more seconds to start wrapping up the idea or note. All right. And hey, you did that. Let's do the resolution. So a couple of questions that can help you. Just remember, this is kind of like where you show the impact of the support that you're going to get, and how you're going to turn that investment that they're making on you into, something for the community. And so here are the questions. Like you can think, okay, how will the Arbour funding help you overcome the barrier in the previous one? And what impact will you make on your field, your community, or future in general? And a good trick to keep in mind is that you can you can connect back this last sentence, the impact, to your initial moment of inspiration, right? So in the example that ChatGPT gave me was the solar panel project, right? So they connected that from the fair that they went, and then to the end of being like, oh yes, and my goal is to help communities reduce their costs by 40% through the use of solar panels. And so kind of like you connect those ideas and just end with a memorable or hopeful statement. So I'll give you 3 minutes. This is a little bit shorter, but that's okay. I'll give you 3 minutes to jot down notes for that. One more minute. Few more seconds to wrap up the idea. All right. So now that we're done with kind of like thinking a little bit about each of the elements of our pitch, anyone would like to share, whether, one question that was really helpful to clarify, maybe you want to share a little bit of what you're expecting to do in your pitch, whatever it is, just share kind of like your experience through this activity. You're going to get to share your pitch later. Don't worry.
Actually, the flow that I was following was dividing my own into two persons. The
Okay.
first one was a researcher, the other one was a leader. And starting from the experiences that I had for both of the aspects. For example, in research, I explain what I'm doing in the lab, why my lab is prepared for the topic that I'm doing, and the output of my research, which is a couple of papers since starting my PhD, GPA that I had, and also the startup that I'm running from the idea that I got in the lab.
Okay.
And then I explained that this idea is going to be in one of the accelerators in Quebec, which is one of the partners of the Arbour. And then also I was thinking about my leadership aspect that I referred to one of the experiences that I had back in my country, which I had two mentors, two leaders that helped me to jump up my knowledge. And I decided to give it back to the society. Now here in Quebec, I'm here to help other students, especially the newcomers. Therefore, I became the vice president of Caspian, one of the groups that helps Iranian students who are coming to Quebec society to help them to reach their idea and be more prepared with French society and so on. It was the first part that set up my presentation. That I was thinking about the conflicts that I have. Again, I divided it into three parts. The first part is about the research. Back in my country, we are in a big war with other countries. Maybe you have heard about Iran wars. And because of some explosions, my family's business is injured right now, and somehow I'm trying to help them. So it's actually forced me to have sometimes some part-time jobs to help them. So I'm a bit unfocused on my research and the startup that I'm running. And also, one of the barriers that I have is French language and the French society that I'm going to introduce and contribute to. So I'm trying to be more familiar with French society, with the leaders that Arbour can introduce me, like Marine and Diane, which I'm totally familiar with, who are the leaders in the Quebec ecosystem. So they can help me to be more involved with the Quebec society and ecosystem so I can transfer my experience to French students and other staffs. These are the conflicts that I had financially and also in leadership aspect. About the third part, which is about a resolution, what I'm doing is specifically about cancer detection and diagnosis, and the work that I'm doing in research and startup is going to use sonography imaging and ultrasound to burn the cancer tissues from outside of the body without any radiation, without any chemotherapy, which is harmful sometimes for body. And we are going to put any other side effects of cancer diagnosis away with ultrasound in our lab, focus ultrasound. So if we can do it, so we can make the cancer detection and diagnosis much faster, safer, cheaper for the society of Quebec, which is the reason of many deaths in Quebec and even worldwide. Also, the financial help from Arbour can help me to focus more on research that I'm going to do. I do have 4 under review and under preparation papers, which are going to be published by Nature, Scientific, or other very renowned venues. which other society scholars can be benefited by. Therefore, helping me in this aspect can help me to focus on the works and wrap them up very fast. And also helping me to be more connected with the Quebec ecosystem, a startup ecosystem, through the people who are in the Arbour board can help me to make my ideas to a practice faster, and also can help me to contribute to other Quebec startups too.
Okay. Well, that was great. Thank you for sharing. I mean, you pretty much gave us your pitch already.
Yeah.
And it's a very good initial draft that you crafted in 12 minutes. So there you go. There's gonna kind of a couple of elements that were really, really good in your pitch, where that you use the fact that, okay, you're kind of, you separated your two streams of a person, let's just say the researcher and leader, which is good. Now, obviously, in your pitch, you need to combine them and make sure that the story flows specifically very well. And that will help you with the flow of the ideas, of course, but also with the length. Because right now, you obviously you were, you were drafting, you were kind of sharing the ideas, and it was like a 6 minutes more or less. Remember that whenever you're introducing yourself, it should be 3 minutes max. And I can share you a couple of examples that I know that are short and are going to be like 3 minutes, so that you get an idea of how many words it should have, how it's going to look like. But good. That was a good example. Thank you for sharing. For the rest of you, if you know, just having those ideas, having those notes down will help you start building your pitch. And for the question of, okay, how you're gonna or introduce yourself or tell me a little bit about yourself, the portion of resolving your story or the impact from the Arbour Foundation can be a little bit more subtle. Like, you don't have to say like immediately like, oh yeah, your support is going to help me like this. But you can already tell them like, yeah, if tell me a little bit about yourself. Okay, I'm this person. I have these experiences. This is the barrier that I'm having. And so with the help of the Arbour Foundation, I'm sure I'm going to overcome this. Like, keeping it short and brief like that. Don't make it like, okay, you help me, please, again. So try to keep it short. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, let's move on to the final part of the session, which is tips on delivering your pitch. And again, this is for all sorts of situations. But and so some of these parts might not apply to the interview per se, but I just wanted to leave it with you so that you know for other settings. I'll make sure to highlight those. But an important thing is you should leverage your voice. Like, you should use your voice to emphasize certain ideas or to make sure that you're at certain points. One key aspect is to have shorter sentences for a clear pronunciation. Like, obviously, if you start getting with long sentences or very difficult words, then it might be difficult to pronounce, especially if you're nervous, because you're obviously in that setting that you're being interviewed or you're presenting something. Then just having that shorter sentences, shorter words just might make it easier for you. So take your time. If you're writing the ideas or the script, if you will, then you can revise specifically the terms that you're using so that you can choose an easier one for you, at least. The other thing is to use your voice. So try to, use projections, try to use intonation. And projecting or voice projection is meaning speaking a little bit louder, speaking a little bit, making sure that people are heard without yelling. It's very different than projecting your voice than yelling. And so that's something that a lot of people have it naturally. Others need to practice it, and that's okay. And a way to practice it is just standing in an empty room and trying to, speak it. And if the sounds kind of like bounces back, that means you're projecting. You can kind of like start calibrating that and stop the sound from bouncing back. This room in particular, my voice, I do project my voice. A lot of people say a little bit loud, but this room helps me because there are panels that protect.
Hey.
Hi,
Okay.
you're done,
Yes.
yeah? And I'm gonna dance. Okay.
You're almost
Yeah.
done.
Again, please. To get there. I'm Catherine.
Nice to meet you.
Can I like show my stuff here?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna wrap up with a couple more ideas with this using your voice. So try to use different levels of your tone for different parts of your pitch, let's say. So if you're asking a question, in English, questions go up in the end, right? So if you're wondering what, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example of a question. Oh, what's my name? Actually, that's actually a perfect example when people introduce themselves. Because a lot of the times, a lot of people say like, oh yeah, I'm Javier. So that sounds like a question, and you're like, okay, you're not sure who you are. So keeping it flat, like, oh no, I'm Javier. That helps. So like that's a good way of looking at the difference. If it's a rhetorical question, you can do that. But also the volume, you can play around with that. If you're asking a rhetorical question, you ask it, you increase the volume, but then you keep it low for the answer, because then people lean in. Those are techniques, those are performative techniques. You don't need to do it, but it's something that can help you in general. For the interview, having a flat, for across the board, making sure you make those intonations kind of help the engagement of your pitch. In terms of gestures and body language, an important aspect especially when you're doing interviews, is eye contact. So make sure you're kind of like addressing everyone in the room, trying to look at them as much as you can, without being like an owl or like whatever, like you're all over the place. Like if you want, you can focus on someone for a second, then move on to the next person. If you're not comfortable with eye contact, that's absolutely normal. There are cultures that eye contact is absolutely, not frowned upon. Let's just say it's frowned upon. So a trick, at least here in Canada, eye contact is welcome. And so a trick is to look at a person's forehead, right? That helps. Like it feels less intimidating. It feels a little bit more comfortable. And if even then you're not comfortable, just little glimpses to people's eyes help. Like just quickly. You don't have to stare at them and be like, yes, this is what I'm going to talk about. No, just kind of, sorry. I did it with you because we're comfortable, but just the example is, yeah, the eye contact can get intense. And so, quick glimpses, that already works. Body language. This again is more performative, but already in an interview, if you're sitting, can already help. So if you're leaning forward, or you're being a little bit more engaged with the person. If you're leaning back, you can look sloppy, right? You can be a little bit, whatever. Like it can come up like that. Not necessarily that's your intention, but you can come up like that. Or if let's say if you're doing this and you're kind of relaxed and talking about it, again, it can be a little bit unprofessional in certain settings. So just come to the table, keep your hands on the table.
You're practicing.
Yeah.
Me too. I was thinking like, oh my God, my
Yeah.
posture is not good.
No, but it's normal. Right now we're in a relaxed state,
Yeah.
right? We're in a more comfortable setting. I personally tend to do this a lot when I'm in meetings, and it's also, I'm gonna mention this in the next point, because I talk with my hands a lot. I need space.
Okay.
But for the interview, again, just kind of like a simple trick is just kind of like sitting here, relaxed, a little bit leaning forward, not necessarily, like this or like this, just kind of like in a relaxed position with your hands on the table. This goes to like primal instincts where if you're not showing hands, that means you're hiding something. Those are body language readings that our brain does, right? So if you're here, like, okay, what's this person doing with your hands or whatever? So just keeping your hands on the table, that helps. And having your hands up can already help you emphasize certain things. So just taking you as an example, because you shared a little bit about your pitch, you can start saying like, okay, so first I worked with this person, and then and like you see my hand like go in a second. And then I built that startup. And so finally I'm gonna use that startup to whatever help the Quebec society. So it's just kind of like using those things. Some people, and again, this is performative and it's more in a, not in an interview setting, but in other settings, you can use your hands to show magnitude, to be like, oh yes, and I'm gonna help everyone, right? So kind of like being with your arms wide open, or like, no, I'm gonna focus on this aspect right now, but then I'm gonna go wide. So you can kind of like show it like that. And just the last point, like I said, I'm very, very much of a hand talker. I talk with my hands a lot. It's hilarious when my girlfriend holds my hand and she's like, okay, now talk. I cannot.
No.
I cannot. Like I'm very much of a hand speaker, but it's okay if you're not. Just use whatever is natural to you. Don't exaggerate it, because if you exaggerate it, then it like kind of look weird. So my suggestion for this is recording yourself, because obviously you're going to notice what you're doing with your hands, and look at yourself in the mirror when you're talking. It's going to be a little bit awkward at first, but then you're going to get used to it, and you're going to notice, okay, I'm using my hands for this, I'm using my hands for that. And also because there are certain cultures that they use their hands for expressions, right? I mean, obviously there are some offensive ones that I'm sure that come to mind, but there are others that are more, like a little bit less important, like some other gestures. I'm not gonna make any because
You're being recorded.
we're being recorded. Okay, but the last point is just use your hands as much as it's natural as you, and remember the eye contact is important. Now, one of the most important elements when you're talking about yourself is to show your passion. So show your enthusiasm. Use those images, use those stories that you have. Like, I grew up well, already if you're saying like grew up in Iran, like people are gonna like picture whatever picture they have about Iran. Use examples or analogies, especially for research aspects, just because sometimes it's hard to relate to the unknown or things that we don't understand. Use humor only when appropriate and only if it comes natural to you, because that's a difficult thing to pull, especially when you're nervous. And finally, as much as you can, try to enjoy it. Try to enjoy the process, try to learn from it. Like, if anything, you're going to learn something about yourself. You're going to learn that, okay, yeah, I was very nervous and I wasn't sure how to answer that question. So maybe for the future, I'm going to practice or think about specifically that question. All right. The last thing that I'm going to share is practice your pitch. Like I said, try to practice in front of a mirror, try to pay attention to your hands, to your body, what you're doing. Record yourself several times. That's an important thing. That's not only for your body language, but also for the pace of your voice, the pace of your pitch, the pace of what you're talking about. An important thing, don't memorize it. Like usually when you memorize things, you're going to sound like a robot. So it's going to be difficult for people to follow if you're sounding like a robot. But the important bit is to practice it enough so that it feels like you're talking with someone, feels conversational. And maybe this is where I'm going to add that portion that Pega asked at the beginning. So try to be ready for questions, obviously, when you're practicing. Try to anticipate certain questions and certain things that interviews have in general. So like I said, describe a challenge and how you solved it. How is the Arbour Foundation going to help support you? Those are the things that are typical ones. Maybe for this one, but for sure in other interviews, you're going to get the question of what's your biggest weakness? What do you think is your weakest skill? Maybe you want to answer that. You want to prepare an answer for that. A question that it's not common, but it can be. It's like, okay, tell me about something that it's not in your application. So like something extra that you want to share. So have that kind of like in the back pocket in case it comes around. And with that, I'm just gonna wrap up here with something that I was very pleasantly surprised that Catherine was mentioning about reflecting about your application. Kind of like take time to look at it, to reflect on it, think about your story, make some notes, revise them, record yourself, and revise your story again. And if you're doing the video, or like Cecilia said, take many takes. Try to shoot and reshoot. Pay attention to how the words are flowing. Pay attention if you get stuck in a word or an idea. Maybe that's where you kind of want to slow down a little bit to give yourself time, or you give your brain time to tell that part of the story. All right. So with that, I'm gonna thank you everyone for paying attention. And if you have any questions about this.
I have a question.
Well, Saidul has, then you
Yes,
can,
yes.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question because we are talking about the gesture and how the posture, where they're gonna go. Do you suggest any kind of like get up or set up, like get up or dressed? We should go there. Any kind of attire we should follow in case
So,
of like in person or online. For example, for my case, it's online.
right. Thank you for that. I actually had a point in that at some point, but I just removed it. So yeah, in terms of dressing and like personal appearance, just make sure that you're professional, right? Like you don't show up with shorts and a t-shirt, right? Certainly not in person, but also not on Zoom. Like if you're on Zoom, you said it was going to be in person, right?
Yeah, but he's traveling, so he would be on
Okay.
Zoom, but the rest.
So the point that I was going to make, if it's on Zoom, even if you're doing the typical, I'm going to wear a formal shirt and shorts, or not even, don't do that because your body is going to reflect that sort of either the insecureness of not having proper pants or bottoms, or even just kind of like not being comfortable with showing on camera, maybe if this is showing or not. Just kind of dress yourself as if you were in person. In terms of personal appearance, make sure you're groomed. Take it as a professional interview. Make yourself presentable, whatever that looks like for you, in terms of what you do, your routine in the morning. For those who wear makeup, put the makeup that you're comfortable with. Or if you're comfortable with just kind of like passing your hand through your hair, go for it, but make sure that it's kind of like it looks proper or professional. That's an important thing, because a lot of the times that's the first impression that interviewer is going to have. Like, this person is walking in and this person looks good. That's a lot of the interviewing panels that I've been part of. That's kind of like the first thing that gets me. It's like, yeah, this person prepared because this matters to this person. So that's basically the thing that I was going to say. And Saidul, maybe an extra point, since you're joining online, is that the camera, make sure that you have something that you know where the camera is. So for example, I know in this room the camera is there, so I can look straight to the camera, because that would be the equivalent to the eye contact with the person online or the people online. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just have a follow-up question, like on camera, do you suggest like how like far we should visible in person? Like sometimes not only face or up to chest or more. Any suggestions from you?
So basically, from the belly button up, show your hands. That's a good framing, kind of like in your head, and kind of like in the middle. So
Okay.
I'm not sure how I'm gonna be able to show you this. You know what? I'm gonna add a little image of what is recommended to the slides, and then you can get a better idea, because I'm struggling to kind of like describe it better with words.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I guess.
That was my question.
Okay.
No, the physical appearance, like
Oh.
the clothing and yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's something that it's important. It's gonna cause a big impression. So make sure you're ready for it. And maybe pay attention to what you know about yourself, in terms of if you are a person who drinks coffee in the morning, and you get very electrified with coffee, then maybe, have your coffee a little bit before, a bit earlier than that, so that the effect passes by and you're not like jumpy or like looking like that. Or maybe you are a person who, I don't know, you normally don't eat in the morning, but you notice that your stomach starts grumbling. There you go. That was unintentional, but it's obviously it's part of being human, of course, the stomach grumbling. But maybe, try to make an effort to eat a fruit, maybe like a banana or something simple, just to make sure that that's not. It's just because it's part of the professional setting of an interview. And so in other cases, it's a little bit more casual, but just to kind of keep those things in mind about who you are and what you know about yourself. And the time of the interview also, of course, is going to play a role. But yeah, those are a couple of other extra tips that I can give you.
We're good? Someone else? No? Okay, so maybe we can do a quick washroom break. And then we have, Diana or Diana? Dania here that she's the past awardee. So she can tell us how was her experience, who was interviewing her, and all that. Sounds good? So we do a 5 minutes break? Okay, guys, in the Zoom? Good. Okay, so we're coming back 11:10.
feel like this is cut off right in the middle. Should I move?
No,
or
I will
can
move
we-
this.
Yeah.
So no worries.
Thanks. Yeah, that way they can see my
There you go.
gestures and my
There.
face. Do we have other applicants here or is
So I
it-
have two applicants in person
And
and
for on Zoom.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so you two
four,
are
four.
online. Okay, nice.
You guys
Would you like to use
want to go to washroom or something?
Okay,
You're good.
thanks,
No.
yeah.
Okay, you're good.
Thanks so much for bringing.
Oh, my pleasure, yeah.
It's
It was very stressful and yeah, a lot of pressure. So I wish I had something like this to be able to prepare for the interview process.
Oh,
So
You're
yeah, I'm
happy.
glad that Concordia is doing that.
Yeah.
Is GMSB also doing that or is this combined with GMSB?
it's GMSB and.
It is,
Tinaco.
okay, okay,
So we have two people from GMSB here.
okay, on Zoom?
On Zoom.
Okay, I see. And I'm guessing you guys are probably engineers or, yes, okay. Yeah, so they look into medical students, engineering students, and business students. So usually there's a pool of.
Yeah, but medical students, we don't have, well,
Okay.
we don't have.
Fair. Yeah, all good. So did you have like a questions for me or how is it gonna unfold?
We haven't been to the questions part,
Okay.
but for you, I mean.
Yeah,
Well, we're gonna go after the break, but yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's more about what your experience was.
okay. Sorry, I walked in. I was told I was in advance and I didn't want to interrupt you.
No.
Your advice is great, so good job.
Yeah, I'm sure your experience is going to complement whatever the theoretical knowledge that I have,
Yeah.
the practical knowledge. But I do have to take my leave.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
Thank you for
Of course,
the time and
of
generous
course.
advice.
I'll send the updated slides to Cecilia, just for her to share with all of you, and I'll include the Zoom image just for them and a couple more tips in there. I already have a slide for that. I don't know why I removed it, but yeah.
For time's sake.
I guess I thought it was gonna be like everyone's gonna be in person, so I'm not gonna talk about Zoom too much.
Yeah, because in general, it's in person.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's there's an exception, they accommodate the exception, but it's in person.
All right. Well, it was nice chatting with you all. Nice to meet you very shortly. My name is Javier, by the way. I heard Daniel, so. Okay,
Well, take good care.
thank you. And I guess I'll see you around. Good luck with your interviews. And
Thank you.
if you have any questions, I'm sure Cecilia can.
For sure. Yeah. Okay.
Connect with
Right,
it.
sure. Thank you so much.
You guys can also add me on LinkedIn if ever you have questions later on and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just breathe
Breathe
and practice. And remember that they expect you to be nervous. Everyone's nervous. I was nervous. And I made it, so. I'm wondering if maybe I should take his place to be closer to the screen. So students can see me better? I don't know, what do you think?
I think they can see you from there, but it's up to you.
Okay.
Completely up to you. Yeah.
During your PhD, can be chair?
I'm about to start my third year.
Oh, third year, nice.
Yeah, so I'm just doing an exam and then I'm gonna be officially a PhD candidate.
Okay. Is it your proposal defense or?
So I'm currently doing my PhD at HEC
Oh,
and it works a little bit differently. So we have a comprehensive exam with a written
at the same time.
no,
Oh.
the written part
Oh,
and your thesis committee decides when we do the exams.
okay.
So because I had multiple conferences to attend this summer, I did my written part first, then I did my traveling business it, and then now I'm preparing for my oral exam
Oh,
at the end of the month. So it's supposed to be something that helps you prepare for your thesis, but it's not your thesis defense. It's not really your thesis proposal.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a specific question or a set of questions that your committee decides for you to work on to advance eventually what will be your thesis.
thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And what about you?
Um,
PhD student?
Yes,
Student
absolutely.
student?
I work in transportation.
Okay, nice. Who's your supervisor?
And
There's
Sir
someone?
Cyprian.
Oh. Great.
No, I think there's a.
It's
She
for
works
smart
in
cities?
transportation.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not.
Okay, nice.
I know her. She was my committee.
Oh, you already got your PhD candidates? Maybe something. Yeah,
okay, let's continue.
sure.
Guys in Zoom, Saidul, I think you have a question or raise hand.
Yes, I have a question, but I think it's very specific to my situation. Can I ask it a later part of the
Yeah,
session?
we can stay online after and we can talk about
Okay,
it.
perfect. Thank you.
I have a question. Is the interview on the 20s for all of us or it's different?
No, so raise your hand who has the interview, the 18, Saidul the 18. So Pega for you is the 20.
Yes.
Okay, I think it's the week of the 18, but it's
Okay.
like different times and dates. Yeah.
So they are interviewing
Different
different
schools.
different
Yeah.
schools from different universities.
Okay.
So let me quickly introduce Dania. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
Dania is graduate student from John Molson,
Yes.
and she completed your master's a couple of years ago. She's former also fellow Arbour scholar,
That's right.
and she's here to share with you how the interview process is, how it was for you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
My
for
pleasure.
being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me today. It's truly an honor and I'm very happy to be able to share my experience with you guys. I'd like to add, I'm also an ambassador for GMSB and for the foundation. So I'm very, very happy to be able to represent them. And they've truly had a huge impact in my life and helped me in so many different ways. So to prepare for the interview, I did a lot of different things. I was able to catch the end of Javier's presentation. And I think he has a lot of really important pointers. Some of it is to prepare for questions, right? So I think I sent in 10 questions to
Yeah.
kind of just, get a feel of how the interview can unfold. listen, there's no guarantee that those questions are going to pop in during the interview, but it's good to be able to practice. So one thing that I did before the interview is I did mock interviews with my friends and my family. I really wanted to be able to know how can I answer and how can I better prepare for the tougher questions or the questions that you might not just think on your own. If you have a friend or someone that you can trust, your partner, or again, a family member, they can sometimes pick your brain and help you, you know, better iterate how you form your sentences. Another thing, again, that I did is to film myself answering those questions, which can feel pretty cringe and can be uncomfortable. But then you get an idea of, okay, my body language is either I'm putting too much out there or I'm really like, I'm hiding in my chair and I can see that I'm nervous on camera. That's not going to look good or translate well in person. So that's another thing that I did. The day before the interview, I wanted to have my outfit prepared in advance because I did not want to rush in the morning. I think it was at 8 a.m., so it was pretty early, and it was also the first one to be interviewed, so I felt like all of the pressure was on me, although I know it's ridiculous and it makes no sense, and I wasn't. But knowing that I had a professional outfit that made me feel comfortable and empowered was very important for me. So I had a blazer and I had pants and a little blouse underneath. I don't know if the people on camera have that, but I usually have very long, funky, colorful nails. And I didn't want to maybe offend someone or give a wrong impression if someone's more conservative. So I made sure that my nails were very short and that it was a lot more professional. I'm also full of tattoos, and once again, I didn't want to be out there and just be like, look at me. So I did have long sleeves to cover that up because once again, you're in a professional setting. Some people are a lot more conservative than others, and I just wanted to be able to put my best foot forward and have a very strong first impression. So the day of the interview, I was obviously a nervous wreck to the point that my palms were sweating, my body was kind of shaking, and I felt like I was just so stressed out. And I felt so much pressure that I almost didn't know what my name was anymore. I felt like I had a blank and I didn't know how I was going to answer. So the first thing I did when I walked in is I looked at everyone and I said, thank you so much for having me today. It's truly an honor. But before we start, I just have to let you know, I am so nervous right now. And this kind of broke the ice and everybody giggled. And my interview, I don't know if it's going to happen with you guys, but my interview was with the entire committee. So I didn't have the time to count one by one who was there, but it felt like at least a dozen people were there physically. And then also there were more people on Zoom. And I was sitting at the end of the table with everyone just looking. And so you feel like, oh my God, everyone's staring, everyone's interpreting what I'm going to do. But please don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. You made it this far, right? So you know your worth, you know your work is of a certain quality to the point that you got to have an interview in person. You passed so many rounds. So believe in your expertise, in your skills, in your competence, and in yourself. And if you feel like you have no confidence, honestly, it's cheesy, but fake it until you make it. So yeah, after thanking everyone, they asked me to kind of walk them through my CV and to present myself, and I kind of did that in my own way. And I don't remember the entire list of questions because it was multiple years ago. But if there was a question that was tough, my first thing would be to say, that's a really good question. Let me just think about it for a second. Or I would just pause, think about what I had to say, and then say it, as opposed to rushing through the question. And sometimes taking your time and just pausing, even in the middle of your sentences, kind of slows things down and it makes people lean into what you have to say, and it puts more of an emphasis on a certain point that you're trying to make. By the end, I was really emotional and I thought I did horrible and I was just way too hard on myself. And, imposter syndrome, I'm pretty sure can have the best of us sometimes. But nonetheless, once again, trust yourself. You made it this far. You will probably make it. And if ever, God forbid, you don't, there's always next year. See this as an exercise for you to do better. And in the end, as long as you're learning, you're winning. So try not to put too much pressure on yourself. Have faith. Listen to the questions that they have. Take the time to go on the website to see who is Pierre Arbour, what has he done, what are the values of the foundation, how do the values reflect into your everyday life? For example, how do you practice critical thinking or reflective thinking into your research or your volunteer work? What does it mean to you? How do you practice humanism or, freedom of speech? So those are all values that are really important that the foundation wants you to also incorporate, but they want to see how you're going to continue taking this into the future. The goal and mission of the foundation is to be able to provide scholarships for graduate students who will improve the province's development and economic state. So they want to be able to see how you're going to give back to your current communities and future communities locally. There's one more thing that might be able to help if ever you're not speaking French. They will require you to take French classes because it's important to be able to be fully immersed within Quebec. So if you don't already know French or if you haven't been practicing French, please do mention during the interview that you're planning on taking French classes. And to give this more credibility, look at places where you can take French classes, whether it's at Concordia or somewhere else at a private class. Just be concrete with your actions and let them know that this is really important for you. You want to be able to strive within the foundation. You want to attend all the networking events. You're maybe interested in even getting a mentor at one point. And if so, look at within the team at the foundation who could be interesting to work with or collaborate with. So I think that's pretty much it for me for now. If you have questions or follow-up.
Well, I really thank you so much.
Oh, my
I like
pleasure.
everything that you said.
Good.
And I'm gonna just share what Daniel shared with us are all good questions, but no, all those, they are no, as you can see, they are normal questions. They are not secret questions. They are generic questions that you will get if you are starting your career in every interview or in a lot of interviews. They are not, you have to prepare for every interview. You have to do a research before to know where you're going to, who you're interviewing with. So as we were saying since the beginning, I like that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
But also I like that you owned that you were stressed
Oh
when
my
you
God,
arrived.
yes,
So
yes.
that's also good because you're owning. They know you're nervous.
Yeah.
So you own that you're stressed.
Yes.
And also I like that you said, I like everything you said, but I really liked when you you have the right to think before answering. You don't
Yes.
have to answer immediately what you have the right to say, okay, I'm thinking. Let me think about that. So I really like that.
Yes. If it can help anyone, like I'm someone who struggles with severe anxiety, although it might not show. But practice truly makes perfect, or almost perfect.
Mhm.
It's really practicing over and over again. It helps you over time. And this is just one of those events. You will have more interviews and you're only going to get better at them. So do feel empowered because this is a big opportunity for you. I'm thinking of another point that would be important during the interview is Javier kind of talked about a little bit, but really do showcase how much you love your research ideas or your research proposal. I don't know if anyone's doing a master's or if everyone's doing a PhD, but do you have an idea of where you're heading with your paper or your research project? They want to see how it can be realistic and how it can contribute not just to scholars, but also to practitioners, whether it's, a Quebec project, a Canadian project, or you want to do an ethnography somewhere else in the world, for example. They want to see what's the gap that you're filling in the literature and how it can help in academia and why is your paper worth funding in a way. So getting to know your topic really well, and then trying to showcase your enthusiasm for the topic, along with why it's important and needs to be studied by no other than you.
I have a question about the setup, no? Because you
Yeah.
say that you enter and you have 12 people
Yeah.
and on Zoom.
Yes.
So there was like one person doing the questions, or it was just
So again, I don't know if it's gonna be the same thing. So in my case, I walked in and there was, yes, like about 12 people sitting around an entire table, and I was all the way at the end. And then there were more people on Zoom, so I would see a bunch of little block boxes, and I'm just like, oh, oh my God. And then one person was kind of managing the beginning of the interview, and then as the interview went on, other people would ask questions. Sometimes it would be someone in person, sometimes it would be someone over Zoom, and they kind of just alternate between them.
and they were follow-up questions of what you were saying,
Yes.
or they were just
No,
very
no, they were follow-up.
conversation.
Yes. It's really,
Conversation.
they want to have a conversation with you. They don't want to put you on the spot and evaluate
Yeah,
you. They really want to get to know you. Who is the person behind this application that we got? How is this going to help them, right? Because the foundation really wants to help people who are also struggling. So it's okay to be vulnerable, to talk about the difficulties that you overcome. Like, be proud of your resilience and be proud of how you overcame those challenges. It's not a scholarship made for people who are super financially well off or who are very wealthy. So this is another criteria of theirs. They want to help you, and they want to get to know the human behind all of this paper. So be you. You are unique in your own way. And don't be afraid to also ask them questions to get to know them better, to know what are the next events that the foundation is hosting. If ever you're into entrepreneurship and you look online, you will see that they have programs to support students who want to start up their own businesses. Or if you're currently a PhD student and you want to do a postdoc, they also have something for that. So feel free to ask them questions about what are the next steps for me, or do you have any comments, advice, or if you're really clicking with someone and you want to stay in touch and you want to ask them more questions, like, feel free to do that. They're humans at the end of the day. They're judging for the foundation, but they're truly good people, and everyone's super down to earth. And like it's a really beautiful community. So try to take a little bit of pressure off.
Thank you. I also am gonna take that last comment because I really like it, and it's for all the interviews that you're gonna go on during your life. It's a good idea to prepare a couple of questions because that shows that you prepared
You're
for the
interested.
interview, that you're interested,
Yeah.
that you did your homework and you investigated also about them, and it's all about what they can do for you, but also what you can do for them.
Yes.
At the day.
Yes, this is a really, really big one. It's a really big one. They want to see what you can do for them as well. Why is it worth it for them to invest so much money in you? Sorry, just have to add that.
Yeah.
And you say at the beginning, you say that the foundation really changed, like it really changed you, like they didn't have any big impact.
It really, really did.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah. So I have a very difficult personal family situation, and just to keep it very brief, I'm an orphan. So having this external figure that can help me throughout my personal and professional life was very important for me, and I felt like the mentoring program at the foundation could be really transformative and helpful. And so I made it a point that, if you take me, I really want to partake in this, and these are the people I'm interested in, and this is why. So being able to work with Marine Adang, the CEO, who's most likely going to be here, and Diane de Champlain, which is an administrator at the foundation, they're super powerful women in my eyes, and I really look up to them, and they've taught me so much over the years. They've guided me. They've been so patient whenever I had trouble or issues. I didn't know how to navigate a difficult situation. They would always have very helpful input. They they have such a huge network. So whenever they host networking events, your mentors are just the people you will meet there in general, whether it's previous scholarship recipients or current ones or just professionals over there. The events allow you to build your network and expand it drastically. You have a lot of opportunities to stay within academia, but also to work externally. If you want to go in the, private research industry and work for Google or Apple or other big companies like that, they are really helpful in every way. Like they're just so full of different tools. Like they're very resourceful. So they've helped me obviously finance my studies, but also in other personal challenges that I had, I was able to overcome them. And then expand my network. They founded some of my conferences. Again, I was kind of leaning towards the idea of if you want to do a postdoc or open up your own business, they're always there and willing to help you propel, whether it's write a business plan or kind of like they're always there. So they've helped me in so many ways. They make me feel so empowered, more confident, more competent. Like the scholar that I am today, I feel like is partly thanks to them, because seeing how they believed in me helped believe in myself. And again, I'm going to talk about imposter syndrome, but it's just so omnipresent. Even if people don't show it, it is there. Everyone at the Arbour Foundation is going to say like, yeah, I get it, but we're here, right? So very humbling, but also very empowering at the same time. So yeah, it's a prestigious opportunity, let's just say. But just being able to have that interview alone is also a prestigious opportunity, no matter what happens after that. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
Can we be in touch with them even if we are not selected?
I think so. I don't see why
Okay.
not. Yeah. I would pick their brains if I was you.
And
Or
should we mention it during the interview if I'm not selected? So I would be happy to be in touch with blah, blah, blah.
so what I would like to suggest, if ever you're not taking for the scholarship, or whether it's even for another job, or if it's for another competition of what sorts, is to follow up and ask why. Because you want to know, how can you improve next time? What went wrong? What did you do that could be improved? So I personally would do that. Yeah, no problem.
Any questions on Zoom?
Yeah.
In any point of the interview, talks in French.
Yes, I did. So they were asking me, okay, so do you speak French? And I'm like, oui, je parle français. And they're like, okay, well, peux-tu élaborer? Peux-tu me parler un peu en français? So I'm like, oh, yes, of course. And I just like said whatever I had in my mind. Like, oh, je vais à HEC, je fais un doctorat, ou blah, 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 ou je veux faire un doctorat. I didn't say that, but I'm just giving an example. Yeah. So it's possible. Again, like, not an interview is going to be the same, and they usually adapt to the person they have in front of them. But it's possible. If you do speak French, they would like to know what kind of level your French is at. I mean, if you did the application in French, they're most likely going to do the interview in French. But since I did it at Concordia, mine was in English. And then they were curious because I went to HEC for my undergrad. So they were like, do you speak French or not? Yeah.
Just a comment on that, because I saw your face of panicking.
No panic.
Yeah, like if they ask you, like, do you speak French? You can say no, but I'm very interested because I want to participate in the culture. I'm taking courses. I don't know if you are, but like you can elaborate of like, no, but this is how I'm gonna do it.
They're not gonna
They're not
punish you
gonna
because
exactly.
because
They're
you
not
don't
gonna
speak.
punish you.
But they do want you to actually take French classes
Yeah.
if you are chosen. So you can say, not currently, but I will. If I'm selected, I plan on taking classes for, as of September, let's say.
And I will make a few comments, even if you're not selected.
Yes, I would
because
say
you are even committed to be here in Quebec and to participate in Quebec culture.
That is true.
So regardless of the foundation, you want to
speak French,
yeah.
learn French.
At least know the basics. I think
Yeah.
it can always help for sure.
I know a little bit French, but not.
That's
very
okay.
good. But can I mention actually that so their French classes can also help me?
Absolutely,
Of
because I
course.
don't know if that happened when you were there, but now they have a collaboration with the Fondation Française. No, there's a I don't know what foundation, but they are providing French
They
classes.
provide
to
the classes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
hand
yeah.
it to you.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
You can say that you're planning on taking it over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was someone who had a question. I think it's Saidul. I'm not sure. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I think I had some questions we already asked and discussed right now, but I would ask one specific question. During the application, I mentioned like my level of French is beginner. So is this something like they would like to talk me and French or something a little bit
And
to
Brett?
justify, as I mentioned, beginner?
So you lie?
No, I didn't lie. But my beginner level is really beginner.
So I think they might want to see how much of a beginner level your French is at, which I think is
Okay.
fair, right? They just
Yeah.
want to get a feeling of where does your French stand, but it's not going to penalize
Exactly.
you in any way.
Yes.
Like there are some people who have won the scholarship and they have, you know, no prior knowledge to French, but then they do to end up taking the classes and
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
I think that our previous Arbour scholar, he had no
Yeah.
French.
That's it. That's what I'm
No
saying.
French.
Yeah. So it's not, just be honest.
Yeah.
I think honesty
Yeah.
is a lot more important. Like if you don't know and you're like, I wrote beginner, but truly I know like 5 words, then just say it and say
Yeah.
that you plan on taking classes. Oh, someone posted something.
Yes, no worries, Ilsham. So
Okay.
living due to okay, he said
Okay.
best of luck to the
Okay, I thought it was a question. Yeah. Cool.
family.
I have another like piece of advice. If they ask you what your weakness is, don't say perfectionism. No,
I'm
just
too proactive.
no. Please don't.
Yeah.
Try to find something else and mention how you're working on overcoming that weakness or improving that weakness. Like for me, for
Absolutely.
example, like I'll say I'm really anxious and sometimes I have anxiety attacks and I become just not functional.
Mm.
But I have been working a lot on myself and doing therapy to be able to overcome that and learn how to manage my attacks to prevent them from happening as often as they do. And I've been able to see improvement over the years, and now I'm a lot less anxious than I used to be. It's a lot more manageable, blah, blah, blah. So yeah,
Good advice.
thanks.
And then also it comes often in the interviews.
Yeah.
So take this as a professional interview.
But don't just all say that you're anxious now, because
Yeah, well,
yeah,
no.
find something else. It could be your French level. Just,
That can
you know,
also, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that you want to participate more in Quebec culture,
Yeah.
but you're finding that barrier,
Yeah.
but you're
And
working
you're
on
working
it.
on it.
Yeah.
The most important, as you say, is the honesty and reflect on yourself so you own your answers and you show that you own that you know yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I add something like, sometimes when we go to an interview, we feel that we have to fit this, we have to answer, we have to be this way. But as someone that is interviewing, what they are actually going to find, like the uniqueness in you. So try to really be yourself and be comfortable with who you are and where you are, and try to just share that. And if you're clumsy or if you're, I don't know, if you stutter or wherever, it's not a bad thing. That's
Part of
how
the
you
charm.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just that.
It can be charming in its own way. It makes you
Mhm.
you at the end of the day. And like all the members on the committee who are going to be there at the table, they all embrace individuality and they love that. They don't want someone who's just, you know, another perfect person fitting in the typical traditional mold. Like,
Yeah.
no, they want people who stand out, who do things differently, who have big goals and dreams and are working on achieving them. and that, the foundation can just be that little extra push to help.
Yeah, that's good. And another thing, like I think also these kind of foundations, they really, as all the values, when we are talking about leadership can take many different ways. So don't think about, oh, I'm the alpha entering the room. Like you may have your way of being a leader, So really also think about that.
Yes. Question 8. You can be
What makes you a leader?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's so many ways of interpreting that and doing things your own way and according to your industry or your field or even sometimes your subfield or maybe it's in your volunteering applications. You will shine. It's gonna go great.
Any other questions? Someone that wants to share something? We're good?
No. All right. Well, if ever you have any questions later on or you're just too shy to ask right now, you can add me on LinkedIn. My name is Danya Kyle. I'll be more than happy to give you a hand and be there for you. I mean, I kind of have to being an ambassador, so I'm here for that. Feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for tuning in and thank you for having me. It was truly a pleasure. Yes, for sure. Take care, everyone. Best of luck. Break a leg. Say good luck. Yes, nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you need something anytime, like
Appreciate it. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna do this next year, but I'll be open to
okay, yes. Okay, sure, yes.
if ever. I'd love to know, like, who was able to go through
Yeah.
and how things went, if this was actually helpful.
Oh, yeah, yes. We will let you
Maybe
know.
Shake your hand.
Yes.
To make things official. That's something we can also do at the interview, guys. Shake hands. Don't be afraid to shake hands.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Take care, guys.
And can I have your LinkedIn?
Yes, of course. So Danya Kyle, Kyle.
I think I do.
It's possible.
Would you please share your
Yeah.
name spelling like on the chat? Would be great.
Yes, I am putting it also.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
Daniakyle. You got this, guys. I believe in you. You will do great.
And next year we'll have a lot of ambassadors in the room.
There we go. That's the spirit. I love it. I'll close the door behind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Dania. Have a nice day.
Okay, there I put in the chat her name. I can also, I don't know. Well, these are the questions that she shared with us. That was pretty cool.
It was really, I really liked
Yeah.
her sharing her experience. Now we know a little more about the setting of the interview.
Yeah.
But as I say, they are not mystery questions. They are all things about yourself, things that you know already. So just prepare how you say, those things as Javier was saying, as a storytelling, it works. Give examples. If you say, like, let's say, I'm gonna bring the example because it's an easy one that she just gave. One of your weaknesses. If you say I'm an anxious person, they will tell me about it. So don't say whatever. You think about something and give examples. Always giving examples shows that you know yourself, that you're being honest. Honesty is a big one. So I think there is nothing that you will memorize that will help, but it gives you just a good idea of what to expect from the interview.
Something to share? Yes, I already put them in the PowerPoint, so I will send the whole presentation. If you are up to it, we're gonna have like a 5 minutes break, and then we can do mock interview. So the idea of the mock interview also for the people on Zoom is like, let's do an interview with you. So she's gonna ask you 1 or 2 questions. The first one, of course, is gonna be, tell me about yourself, and you're gonna have to share this 3-minute pitch that you just share, and then a random question that she's gonna come up with.
Okay.
If you're up to, I can record you with your phone, so you can get it, and for you guys, I can record the conversation on Zoom. And the idea is also after is to have feedback from other people in the room, saying like, well, I think you look very nervous. The feedback has to be constructive and
Am
respectful.
I nervous right now?
No.
Okay.
It was just an example.
Okay.
Like, or maybe, I don't know, maybe whatever. Whatever you feel is in the interview. Sounds good?
And then you can watch the recording and then you see yourself.
Yeah.
We're not gonna, you're gonna see yourself, oh, okay, I was not what Javier was saying, not moving enough my hands, moving too much my hands.
Or sitting, I know that I'm sitting like this right now, and this is unconscious.
Yeah.
And like I don't pay attention. So like, okay, if someone is recording me, I have
And
to
you're-
fix this.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you are, let's say sometimes we're in a chair and we're nervous and we start doing, this.
Yeah.
So you're gonna watch yourself. If you were moving, rocking your chair, everything
Will help.
will help. Okay.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
5 minutes break. We're coming back at 11:50. Yes? You guys need to go to the washroom or something? No? Wow, you're holding it. This is my third trip to the washroom.
They're not taking a lot of water. Thank you.
Mm.
You have one.
Yeah. I've been drinking so much water these days, so hot.
Yeah, it's yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I think it was raining
And it
just
was
now.
very humid because of the rain.
And if you have some
Uh,
snack and you want to eat, feel free
Feel
to
free
eat.
to eat. Yeah.
Yes.
Just a quick question, so the mock interview will be 1-to-1 or in front of everyone?
It will be in front of everyone.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with that?
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
it's also for other people to see you and have some feedback, and also to see other people giving an interview. But if you're not comfortable, we can do it after. It's up to you.
All right.
You're gonna be in a room full with like more than 12 people in the interview.
So this is practice.
Yeah, I understand that.
This
Yeah.
is practice. Take everything
Yeah, I
that
got it.
we did today as practice, and we are in a safe environment.
Yes.
So, and the more
Makes sense.
you share, the more feedback you will get, and the more you will learn, and the better you will be prepared.
Sounds cool. Thank you.
No, thanks. How are you feeling?
A little nervous.
Nervous is good. Nervous is normal. It would be weird not to be nervous.
I haven't had the time to practice until now because I was working on paper.
Okay.
So I'm a bit nervous about that as well, but I have just 1 week to prepare.
The conference,
Um,
does it have any deadline?
Yeah, it had a deadline. The deadline was yesterday. I
Oh,
sent it finally,
okay.
but then there's just 1 week to our
Well, but
Oh.
when is the interview? When is yours?
18th.
So on Monday. Well, you
What
have-
time?
Right, it's 10 a.m.
Okay.
What time is it?
11, I think.
One trick that works for me, I do everything that I listen to a lot of TED Talks, and one trick that works for me when I'm nervous is the power pose. Have you heard about it?
Mm.
No? Like the superhero pose. Have you heard about it? Like you do 5, there is a TED Talk about it.
Yeah.
If you look for it. I forgot the name of the TED Talk, but it's something about superhero pose. If you Google that, superhero pose TED Talk, you will get it. And it helps. It's about body posture during interviews and during presentations. And it really, research, it's a woman from Harvard who did this research. And it's holding a power pose before the interview. That helps, because that helps when you arrive in the interview. You have to remember that this shows security if you're like this.
Yeah.
So that helps. And you have time, it's fine. You have today, tomorrow, and the weekend.
O sea, marqué las que me parecían más, que podían hacer como más. My neck.
I heard it.
Ah, you heard that part?
Y estamos acá con el derecho y el izquierdo.
No, no te pares mucho.
Yo.
Okay, let's start.
Who wants to start? Or should we pick? How do you prefer?
Okay. Maybe me. I can
Yes.
start, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe or other one on Zoom.
Does anybody want to start? We have
I
a
can be second one.
You guys, you want to start, Saidul?
I can be second one after.
Oh, you can
some-
take a second one.
Okay.
I need to time.
First.
Sorry.
So I think you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to.
You want me to record you?
Do you want
Yeah,
to
sure,
be recorded?
sure.
And it's gonna be just you.
We are also recording that. So you're gonna see, but maybe if I record you from here,
Yeah, it would be better.
it will be better.
And I don't know for if
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the people on the screen they want to, let's say if Pega is the one.
Yeah, we're
being
gonna be in
integrated
it. Yeah,
when. Okay.
here we
Here,
go.
okay. So tell me a little bit about
For
yourself.
sure. At first, I'm so happy to have me here. Thank you for inviting me for this interview. I'm Hoca Askarian Dekordi, a PhD student at Concordia University, and my expertise is in medical image analysis. Basically, what we are doing is about diagnosing cancer and somehow treating it using AI. And since I joined Impact Lab at Concordia, which is one of the most renowned labs in ultrasound imaging and sonography in Canada, I have published 8 papers, which are all in very renowned venues in Society of Science. And actually, on the other hand, in terms of entrepreneurship, I have developed an idea which I'm going to maybe introduce it in one of the accelerators like QCSE, which is one of the Arbour's partners, and I'm going to raise fund for that. Also, I have been vice president of Caspian, which is a student association of Iranian students who are newcomer here. In this association, we will help students to be merged more with Quebec society, French language, and other helps that any newcomer students needs. Uh, in terms of the ways that Arbor can help me, I can point to the financial aid because of the situation back in my country, Iran, which is in war. My family's business is not going very well, and somehow I should support my family with the financial support that I can provide. Sometimes I need to have part-time jobs, and it makes me a bit unfocused on my research and also the works that I should do in my entrepreneurship journey. Therefore, financial help from our work can help me to stay focused on what I'm doing in terms of research and entrepreneurship. On the other hand, to develop my idea and make it practical to the Quebec ecosystem in terms of removing cancer in the tissue and body and making the society much safer and healthier. I know that there are many supporters and head leaders in our board, like Marine, Diane, and also Sharon, who are leading venture capitals, who are giving advices to startups and new ideas. to develop them. So the support from such these gigantic people can help me to develop my idea and contribute to Quebec healthcare system. On the other hand, I have had many leadership experiences like Caspian and also Innovate Montreal, which we were leading students to be familiar with entrepreneurship and other stuff to make a better Quebec. So the barrier that I have is French language and also being merged with Quebec society as much as possible. So the helps from Arbour Foundation can help me to handle my leadership opportunities and also my goals in leadership much better and contribute more and to give helps back to the students and other people who are striving in Quebec. With all of the helps from Foundation Arbor in terms of financially and advices that they can give me, I can make cancer diagnosis and treatment much faster, much cheaper, and much safer rather than the other cancer diagnosis and treatments methods that we have right now. And also I can focus more on my research and publish on the review and on the preparation papers that I can inspire other scholars in this field with my work. And also I can make myself more prepared to contribute to student societies in Quebec and other groups that are going to hold some entrepreneurship events and so on.
Tell me about a specific example about a difficult situation in your life, how you handled it, and what you learned from it.
Back in around 3 months ago, that we heard about the wars in Iran. We were all here, and all of my family members were in Iran. And I was hearing about the attacks that we had in Iran, and I was totally nervous. I couldn't focus on my research. As I told you, my family's business was out of work, and they couldn't handle the life, not handle the life. They were going to have some financial problems. So at the same time, I had a couple of deadlines for the papers that I mentioned so far. So I had to work as an Uber driver to provide some money for them because they were moving to the other side of the country. And also, I had to focus on my work. I shortened my sleeping time. But at the end of the story, I got that I can manage everything by a good scheduling and being calm and relying on God.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Feedback.
Someone wants to start or? Yes.
Okay.
So, I don't know about the introduction question. I think still it's a little bit, and I paid attention in your intonation, and I think you should justify your
Yeah, for sure.
intonation.
That's a very good advice.
Yeah, yeah,
To get them
Yeah.
in.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Otherwise, it was.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, Pega?
I'm not sure about this, but how long it should take? For example, when they ask, tell me about yourself, we should cover all things. For example, I think for it takes 5 to 6 minutes.
Yes.
And the whole of interview it's about 20 minutes. I in my practice when I practice for introducing myself, I try to say everything in bullet point, but I'm not sure should I explain more in that question or not.
So I can answer, and the feedback that I have for you is like you talk for 6 minutes. The first question I asked, she says a 20 minutes interview.
Mhm.
So it really sounds like you put play and the recording and you went on, which is a problem because first I get confused with all the things that you were saying. So I couldn't focus in anything. You're giving me a lot of information. So, and you are not allowing the reviewer or the interviewer to really dig in something or really ask you a question. So I think you were too much in depth in many different things instead of giving me an idea of who you are. So that would be my feedback. Like maybe in the tell me about yourself, very like 3 minutes, try to keep it in like 2, 3 minutes and really give me the highlights of you, like who you are. You touch a lot of things, but you can say, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm doing my PhD, I come from Iran. You don't have to explain me what is the entrepreneur. Just leave the door open for them to do a follow-up question.
Yes, it's a think of it as a conversation. You can leave the option to the person who's talking to you to re-question, to do a second question, a follow-up question. When you were telling about what Arbor getting an Arbour Foundation can change, it doesn't answer to who you are.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, or the question was, tell me about yourself. So tell me who you are, what you did, if you want to say where you're coming from, what you did that brought you here now. So for instance, I don't know, it's an example, but I studied this, I am interested in that, I am doing this, my PhD in this, what I like in life is my research, and I do this and that so you talk about yourself, because the question is telling me about yourself. And to answer Pega's question about the bullet point, it's a style, it's a valid style. Normally in a conversation, you make it a story. You make it, you tell a story as if you were talking to somebody who you are meeting a new friend, you're meeting a colleague, and you're saying, I come from this background, I've done this and that. And yes, it's bullet points in the sense that it's like the title, it's a headline. You're not gonna explain everything in 3 minutes, but you can make it a conversation.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
a question.
Yes.
I have a problem because I'm kind of an introverted person, and usually in the questions like introduce yourself, I answer very short, like just who I am as I introduce myself at the beginning. So it's kind of hard for me to detect what details should I mention in my introduction. Like when we were practice pitching, I was thinking about what like motivates me to continue my education in this field. But should I mention that? How far should I go to details?
However you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And if you want to start, I'm an introvert,
That's
you
valid.
can go for it.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, I am this person, I'm an introvert, so I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my PhD and this, my motivation. And my advice is practice. And I know that we can write our script, but maybe talking to people will help you to start getting that feeling of, being a bit more outspoken. And as far as you want to go into your journey, that is up to you. I will just choose the highlights that you want to talk in the interview also. Because the things that you're gonna mention are probably the things that are also gonna follow up. So if you don't want to talk about your undergrad because you don't think that's important, okay, grab your master, grab a personal experience and go on that. Just use it as these are the highlights of my life, of me. That's my advice.
Yeah. And also to go back to what Javier was saying, go to the criteria, to the selection criteria. They will evaluate the leader, they will evaluate the research, so they want to know you as a person. So if I ask you tell me about yourself, you can think, I did my bachelor in this. If you don't want to share, you share what you want to share, but I did my bachelor, my master's in this. Now I'm interested in this, in my PhD. Why civil engineering, for instance, in your case? And then I'm interested, I don't know, and then you can talk about the leadership part, and I'm interested in whatever you are in what you are volunteering or what you're organizing, and you can bring it uh, to either your career or you as a person, and then you can say, and that's what I'm here today. So try to think about a story that you can tell in a few minutes. You don't need to share if you don't want to. And you can say, I'm a shy person and I'm an introvert. You can also say that. When you say that, that is not a weakness at all.
No.
But you can say how do you have brought what your leadership style is as an introvert person. Okay.
Saidul? Oh, Pega.
Yes,
Yes.
Becca.
For this question, I know we should talk about everything shortly, but our focus and which part is more important for them, our background or what we do for now? I want to know which one, explain which one shorter, my background or my research here or what I do now.
But you don't have to. You can say what your background is in a couple of seconds. You can also say it. Don't delete your background. Don't feel that nothing is wrong. They want to know you. So you can say, I come from this background, now I'm doing this, and I'm planning to, so you can include it.
One thing that I found that maybe for someone working in engineering or in something more technical, I don't think is your case, but just I will give this example. When they're saying, what is your research? You're gonna have 12 people that they might not be researchers. So they might be MBAs. So they are not interested in the research, I'm gonna be using this technique, I'm gonna be using that. That's not what they will, in my opinion, they will not be interested. It's more about what the research is going to solve. What's the problem? And when you're talking about the problem of your research, you will bring your background there because I'm pretty sure that it's connected. What's the motivation for you to do that research? So I would spend more time talking about that than it's like, oh, I'm in my second year right now, I'm collecting data and I'm doing this. That's not the point.
Yeah. Right. Thank you.
Saidul, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you want to show your face and
Yeah, sure. I'm ready.
go for it.
Perfect. Are we recording?
Yeah, we're
We are. Okay. So remind me your background. You are doing a PhD, right?
Yes,
In what area?
in information systems engineering department.
And why are you doing this PhD?
Thanks for asking this question. First of all, I would like to answer this question. Okay, so I have to much more. Sorry, I was trying to be much more casual anyway. So first of all, I'm having my PhD in information systems engineering. So where I'm working with artificial intelligence specifically. The reason I'm pursuing my PhD in this topic or having my PhD is my background is engineering. I did my bachelor in electrical and electronic engineering, and then I got to know how to work with hardware and software together. And following that, I worked for around 5 years in a smartphone manufacturing companies in the world. And then I do lots of projects in AI and hardware at the same time. And at the time, I started working with healthcare and artificial intelligence. So after working in a very interesting project during the time, I feel like working with the healthcare is the most beautiful and amazing thing to contribute for the human being. So then I decide I need to gain more knowledge, gain more specialization on that sector. So that fetched me to admit into in the master program in Concordia. I finished my master and last summer, and then I got a very beautiful project that I couldn't stop myself to get in this PhD. So the project is very fascinating one, and it's suitable for like Quebec like healthcare system and artificial intelligence, that nature of working together. So the project is a very interesting one. That is, I'm working on ultrasound image enhancement, and in this case, we have a very nice collaboration with hospitals in Quebec. At the same time, a range of engineers. So I feel like this is a very sweet point for me to contribute in healthcare and AI. So that's the reason I decided to get myself into this PhD program.
Great. Thank you. And you look very passionate about it. Do you have, is there something you're passionate about right now that you are involved, aside from your research and your academic life?
Yes, right now I'm doing kind of social and volunteer work. Like, for example, as I said, I did my master's, which was in healthcare and AI. At the same time, my PhD project is almost going on the same direction. So what I'm trying to do, me and my friends in Concordia, and I live in a community in Verdun, where I have some friends, where I would trying to run some kind of free sessions where we help people, especially the older generation, how to use digital healthcare systems, like through mobile apps, and like sometimes they need to book different kind of appointment, like vaccination in winter and so on. Sometimes, so we do this kind of like sessions or information sections, so on. So this is what I do besides my PhD. I love to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry,
Feedback?
I'm a bit unprepared, by the way, because I didn't take the note whenever it was asked to do. So I will do it later on.
It's good, it's good.
Any feedback?
Any feedback?
It's great.
My only feedback is I don't know where you're going to do the presentation. But this is maybe very personal, the background. Like
Yeah, I had one of these questions. Sorry for interruption. I asked you, I have some questions, so this is one of the questions I had.
Okay, because I sometimes when we use this background that
It's
is,
distracting.
like it's distracting because you were moving your hands and your hands were getting cut. So I would prefer, if you want, or even if you don't have the space, we can book the conference room here for you to have it. Not this one, maybe the small.
Because he's gonna be traveling.
Oh, you're traveling, it's true.
So
Yeah.
make sure you are maybe against
Yeah, a
a
wide.
white background if you don't feel comfortable showing where you are.
Yeah,
Make sure that you are in a quiet place, that you don't
Yeah.
have interruptions when you are doing your interview, that your internet connection is good, because
Yeah.
that's gonna be stressful also. And I liked that you come across very natural in your interview. I like how you move your hands. I think it's very, very important, especially in Zoom, because if you are like very static, it can be boring. So it's nice that you're showing your hands and moving your hands. I like that.
I will say also to make a step back so we can see more of you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but straight.
Remember, be straight. Yeah. You can
Lose the hand.
calibrate.
Yeah, because right now I'm not sitting on a chair, so I got you.
Ah,
So I'm just
okay.
No,
in the
no, but
coach.
just to
I'm
have
very
a-
relaxing mood.
Yeah, things to help you during the interview.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Yeah.
before practice with, you can initiate a Zoom session without anyone,
just to
and you
have-
practice with the distance. You can put the computer a little farther so you show more.
Yeah. But honestly, I think the speak as well. It came across very natural, very passionate.
Yes.
And yeah, you went to the point. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, who wants
Who's
to go
Any more
next?
feedback?
Anybody has-
Think you're good.
Thank you.
Okay. Pega, Nadine, or someone in person.
Or
Which-
you
yeah.
can go? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me. You can. You want me
Just
to do
I
it?
have a last one question for
Yeah, yeah.
Celestia, if I have a chance to, because I noted down as one question you already covered from my side. That is like just a, is the only one who I'm attending the online interview
I'm not
or
sure if Erin,
Mm.
because she's also traveling.
okay.
I
And
mean,
just
I
in this
know.
case, sorry for interruption. Like in this case, should I give any kind of apologies sentence or something that I couldn't meet it in person because of my family emergency and so on? Should I mention that at the beginning or at the end, or don't need to mention it at all?
Well, I'm sure that I'm sure if they accommodated you is because you already gave an explanation and they know you're gonna be online. A good thing to do would be to thank them
Yeah, yeah.
for accommodating you. And I maybe saying that you would have loved to be there in person, but that you have this emergency and thank them for accommodating you. That's
Yeah. I think it's yeah, it's a good idea.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Where are you gonna be? You're sitting there. Tell me about yourself first to give the pitch.
okay.
Wait.
Okay. Thank you for being here. Could you tell us about yourself?
Thank you for having me here. I'm so honored to be here right now. My name is Gorni Sarkandi, and I'm a PhD student in civil engineering, specialized in transportation engineering at Concordia University. In my bachelor, I studied civil engineering back in Iran. And I was so confused because I didn't know what I'm gonna do with my future. So I decided to take like different courses in different branches of civil engineering, and then I had a course on safety in transportation, and that was a turning point for me because I felt like I saw the impact and how much is the rate of fatal accidents in my country, and how is the transportation system limiting like women there. So that was really a turning point for me, and I decided to continue my education in transportation engineering. So I then pursued my master in transportation with a GPA of 4 out of 4. And then I decided to continue my education here to help more in this field because I felt like there are more huge area to investigate, and that's why I'm doing my PhD here at Concord.
Thank you. Tell us about a time when you had to work with people with different opinions or who disagreed with your approach, and how did you handle the situation?
Okay, so here I do volunteering work at Let's Talk Science, which is a place where we teach STEM to young people in like schools and universities. And I had an interview, and then it was a discussion, like to discuss what we should do for what approach should we get to teach students STEM. And then in there, some coordinators were not agreed with me and wanna choose different approaches. But so I talked with them and made visual examples for them and tried to set a vision and set an image for them. And then at last they persuade to take my approach, which was like teaching to students by playing different games in that age, because I thought that way the students can gather and learn more from what phase?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Feedback?
No, it's fine.
You're not gonna see it?
Feedback?
Maybe talking louder, if it's louder, of your voice. And also, I think it would be a good idea if you play with your hands to not to show that you are depressed. Just move them and yeah.
You. Saidu?
Yeah, just a quick feedback. Like, it was really nice, answering it, but just reduce the nervousness a little bit more. Less. Don't think like if you don't get the scholarship, your life will be hell. Don't think that. Just I would. This is the one I said. Like, don't think like if you don't get this scholarship, your PhD or masters will be finished. So if you think like this, you are good. This is the way I think actually.
That's a very
So
good advice.
Remove the pressure.
Yeah, something that I do a lot. I have something. I'm also anxious and nervous. Even doesn't look like so much because I've been doing so much presentations. But you have the ring.
Yeah.
I usually sometimes I play with the ring.
Oh.
And that kind of distracts the nervousness. So if you're here, and playing with the ring, something that's not very visual can really help to release a bit the stress. It's not working. Rains all over like here, like. Vega?
Yeah.
Well, it's a very stressful situation. I know I will act same as you, but I think it's better when they ask a question and we need to thinking about this. Start with some sentence. For example, it's a good question. It give us a time to thinking for our answer.
Yes. And it's good that you let me think. It's fine. It's valid. You can say, oh, that's a good question. Let me think about it. If you stay, that's something that I'm also a lot in my head, and it helps. It has come from other feedback. When you remain silent, people sometimes don't know. So don't know why while you're silent, you can say, I'm thinking. That helps. Your voice, the voice, yes, it can be louder. And when we are nervous, breathing is good. Breathing before speaking, because then your voice comes softer, like it doesn't cut. Because when we're nervous, we do that, and it's because we don't breathe properly. We're not breathing. But despite the nervousness, which is normal, you were serene. That's feedback. It's good feedback. You were serene. That question about disagreement, it's also to reflect on teamwork, because leadership, as Cecilia was saying, is not only being the alpha person, the chief, the lead of the team. It's about teamwork, how you work on teams. You already came up with an example, so try to think about times when we have disagreements. We have had disagreements in the past, how you handled it. Persuading, you said persuading, so try to think about that, how to give examples, how you persuaded somebody to come up with something that you were proposing. So try to think about examples.
I think you did it very smart that because in the first question you talk a lot about research and why you're doing research. And if the question finished, I was like, okay, tell me about yourself, and you're talking about research. Okay, so you're a researcher. But then in the second question, you came up with the volunteering. So that's another aspect of you that is not about the question. The question was about a difficult moment, but you were smart enough to, not keep digging in the research. That, hey, I also have volunteering, and this happened while I was volunteering. So that was very smart.
Yes.
And in the first question, when it's like, tell me about yourself, like my advice, maybe for all of you, I'm pretty sure you have like many different aspects of yourself, right? So being a researcher is good, but I'm so sure that you have other things. So it's not a harm, like also add them. Like mention it. You don't have to be, but if you are focusing in only one thing, it's like, yes, maybe research is defining you, but I'm pretty sure that you have, and you show it. You have also volunteering.
And also, the tell me about yourself, it can come in
Many different ways. Yeah.
asked in different ways. But it's not the only question that will help them understand who you are. The whole interview will show who you are. So, to Cecilia's point, talking about different things in different, bringing different things in about you in different questions will help tell them who you are. Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not convinced.
Yeah.
This is us practicing. This is a safe space.
Yes.
Remember. Okay, so tell me about yourself.
I'm originally from Iran, and I moved to Canada in August 2024 to pursue my master in business analytics and technology management at Concordia. I hold a bachelor in computer engineering and master in business analytics and technology in business management. For both, I earned a full scholarship because of my performance in Iran nation entrance exam. Uh, for now, if I move to my project here in Quebec, I'm fortunate to work on a diverse project with different faculties and collaborate with different professors from Laval University, Massachusetts University. My focus is in healthcare analytics. My thesis focused on predicting no-show patients to improve the scheduling in outpatient clinics. We are planning to publish it in Decision Support System journal, but we know that healthcare strains government resource, and patients are unhappy with the operation and delays in outpatient clinics. So this is a reason that I really like to bring this project in the real world, especially in Quebec. Also, I in these days this scholarship will help me to focus on my research and help me to reduce my stress for working outside of the campus and focus on my research and my goals.
Thank you. How do you, no, not that one. Yeah, how do you plan to use your education and personal skills to make a difference in your field or community?
Mhm. Well, it's a good question because there are my project. I have over than 5 years experience as a backend developer, and now I'm research, and my major is in business field. I'm trying to bring both side of my skills, technical and programming skills, with my insight in business for create a new and a good solution for our society. For example, my project is to predict no-show patient. It helps. It's a new project that I didn't see in Quebec, and I don't see any similar research with this in literature. I think this project is a new and help our society help out in health industry to reduce their cost and find a better ways to deliver their works in health industry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Feedback?
Feedback?
So again, I think the question about introduction, it was too much about research. And maybe some details about research, like some phrases that I haven't heard before, but overall it was really good.
Mm.
Maybe some repetitions. Yeah, there
Okay.
were some words were repeated several times.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think the repetition comes from the nervous.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
you can practice
yeah,
yeah,
avoid the nervousness.
because you were like looking for the words, right? And that's why the repetition was coming. Yeah.
And in the first, that's my advice. First question, you're introducing yourself. So you will have the chance to tell them what the Arbor Scholarship will do for you later in the interview. In the first question, tell me about yourself. You don't need to say, and the Arbor Foundation will help me, because this is not who you are. So you want to introduce yourself to the Arbor Foundation committee. This is what when you are first question, you're introducing yourself. They want to know who you are. You don't need to bring that. Same with the example. You don't need to bring that to the first question. You will have the chance to say that in the closing question. Thank you so much for having me here. And then you can say, I'm sure that being part of the Arbour Foundation or having the scholarship will help me enormously. But that can be in the closing part of the interview. But in the beginning, when you're introducing yourself, you don't need to
No.
say that. It doesn't speak about who you are.
Mhm. Yeah.
And adding on that, at least all the interviews that I've been, like the last section is like, is there something else that you want to share? So they were always open the door for you to talk about something that you haven't say. So don't think that in the first question you have to put everything in there.
Exactly.
So if there's something, oh, I didn't mention my entrepreneurship. So in the last question, yes, I want to mention this, or yes, I want to actually say that the Arbour Foundation is going to help me on this. So you can emphasize or say something that you haven't said. So
Yeah.
you will have the space.
Yes. And at the end, usually they ask always, you have questions, you have something to add.
Yeah.
You don't need to say that up front from the very beginning. Try to listen carefully to the question because you're
Yes.
prepared. You have a script, you have something that you want to say, but listen if it's pertinent to what they are asking.
Yeah.
So listen carefully to them before answering and think what you are saying. Is it answering what I'm being asked?
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
I don't know. Nadine, are you
Nadine,
there?
are you there?
Maybe she's not. Yeah, I don't think she's there. I think
Okay.
she was working.
Do you have something else that you want to ask, that you want to explore, that you would like feedback to, that you would like to, I don't know, or advice or thoughts?
Are you feeling nervous, ready?
Or do
Are
you feel this helped a little bit? Or,
you-
or is it
Of course.
is there something that you would like to hear or to have covered?
Do you think that if we talk about other aspects of the life, like being a mentor in a particular sport, would be helpful?
If it's pertinent to what you are like, I don't know, give me an example.
Like being a taekwondo mentor or
Oh, that
And-
you are a mentor
yeah,
in a sport?
in a sport, in a particular sport that you are teaching.
If that helps answering a question, if that
Mm.
that is a way to be involved in
I
the
mean,
community.
showing that you are a task person.
Yes.
For instance, yes.
For
or you have
example, the
different
question, what
interests.
makes you a leader?
Yeah.
You can bring that up. What are your society and volunteering implications? You can bring that up. How do you give back to your communities? You can bring that up. So they will be,
Yeah.
I will say, and I think with the ones that I work with in the application, like try to mention everything. because everything will have an impact. If you are a mentor, like even if you're not a mentor in academia, you're a mentor somewhere else, that shows that you can relate to
care.
people, you can teach, you can share values.
You're involved in
Yeah.
the community, you have interests other than academia,
Yeah.
and you want to share something that you know, you want to pass something that you know, you want to help people in it. That depends on what the question is, but yes,
Yes.
of course, for sure.
Yeah, if they're saying like, what would your research and how, and you come up like, I'm a mentor of taekwondo, it's like, well, I don't know, but and try.
Don't be shy to show who you are.
Yeah.
That's part of you, who you are too.
And everything that you are bringing, just try to put it in the
Yeah.
selection criteria somewhere. Like, okay, a mentor of like a sport, such an involvement leadership. So, try to always like tie it up to this thing that they're gonna be looking for.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. You guys in the Zoom, are you feeling good, better, worse? I was like, I don't want to do this.
I think I confused. I practiced before. Today I learned something. I want to. I should combine them with each other. Uh, I'm a bit confused. I will practice more for being ready.
Grab someone around you and make them do these questions. Yeah, I will send you this and Javier's presentation. So, or even if you want to share your contact information, and like get together for like 20 minutes, let's do an interview. So you start getting this feeling
Mm,
and
yes.
be confident. You are doing awesome work. And sometimes like we feel, yeah, well, I'm doing a PhD. Well, I'm doing this. No. You're doing a PhD, you're doing a master, you get here. I think most of you are international, so you move to a different country. Come on, you have a lot of things to highlight on you. So you're doing awesome. Just you have to believe it.
Yes, you have achieved
Yeah.
big things.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So we're wrapping this up. Please send us an email of
Yes,
how it
How
went.
it went.
Like if from here to next week you have questions or something, please.
Please reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're very curious to see how it went.
And will they announce the results very soon?
We don't know that.
But usually they do.
They
I
do,
think,
but
because
yeah.
By the end of the August, maybe?
I think I don't know the time, their timeline,
Uh-huh.
but I know you will know like for sure this fall.
Okay.
It's not
It's
that
not
you will
like
have to
the-
wait
yeah.
next year.
Oh.
No.
Mhm.
But
Because I think actually that it starts in the fall.
yes. So
So if you win-
all the interviews, we know that all the interviews are happening next week.
Yes.
So
And-
I'm assuming that they will have a wrap up and in a few weeks after,
Yeah.
early
Do
September.
they have any limitation for the number of scholars that they will accept? Or they might think of it after interviews to say, oh, we have more.
Internally, they might have a budget.
Okay.
They haven't said we're gonna give 20. No, we don't know that.
But we know what we know. We don't know how many, but we know that they don't have a limit per university. They can
Okay.
select whole university, all Concordia and less for another university or
So they are not doing one in Concordia, one here. It's
Exactly.
like
Oh,
the top candidates.
it's mostly person dependent, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
And will they prioritize French students? No. Okay. Good.
no, they want people
Yeah.
who are open to learn French if they don't, and who want to give.
But I do know a couple of people who won the first round of the scholarship, but they didn't get it for the second one because they hadn't followed French or
Wow,
other.
that-
That's
Yes.
a different thing.
Yeah.
That's
yes.
a different thing.
And if they don't show progress,
Mhm.
let's say you win
Yeah.
and then you don't do anything on your PhD this year,
Mhm.
and you don't show progress next year when you submit your application, you won't.
But I think the second second time is much easier than the first
The
time.
renewal,
Yeah, the
But
renewal.
not
as
necessarily.
long as you show,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
that-
automatically.
no, it's not automatic.
yeah, I know.
Like the renewals, they also have to go through the interviews. And but as she say, like if you say yes, I'm gonna do this, and then in the second year, well, I did nothing,
Mhm.
like
Okay.
no, because you got the scholarship doesn't mean that you can then go to the beach for like 6 months and forget about it. No, you have to keep doing the work that you are doing.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you for organizing this meeting and event.
I'm glad that it helped somehow. So guys on Zoom, you want to say something else?
No, thank you. Thank you for this meeting.
No questions so far. Thank you for the session. If you have any questions, we will reach out. I will reach out to you for sure.
Wish you all the best.
Yes. Good luck, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for the time. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.